Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to discuss the startup scene in Syria, especially after lifting the sanctions. So, unlocking Syria's startup potential, the path beyond sanctions. How Syria's entrepreneurial scene will flourish once sanctions are totally lifted. Why now matters? Well, let's talk about sanctions and recent developments. Currently, or until recently, there were a lot of international sanctions on Syria that are in place. And recently, the EU and US has pledged to remove restrictions gradually or totally. So this presentation will explain what happens once these sanctions are fully lifted and how you can prepare today for this. Basically, Syria has untapped entrepreneurial energy. First, there is young tech-savvy population, as there is a large share of population under 30 years old and are fluent in technology and social media. Also, there is a large existing informal economy related to remote work, freelancers, and also small tech initiatives that already flourish despite all the constraints and sanctions. Eventually, we have talented poised for global stage. There are engineers and developers who are eager for international collaborations. What is the government roadmap to economic rebirth of Syria? There are many commitments pledged by the transitional government of Syria, started to being announced since Davos by the foreign minister, and gradually more commitments are being pledged for economic growth. The Syrian transitional government also declares some inspirations that will be part of Syria's vision, especially Singaporean, Saudi, and Geneva experiences. Singapore with the governance and efficiency and transparency. Also, the Saudi Vision 2030 is a big inspiration for Syria, as there are many similarities and same region and language. Also, the Geneva cooperation frameworks, multilateral investment, diplomatic channels, these also part of the Syrian diplomacy and strategy. The goal of this is to position Syria as a regional innovation hub and foster a dynamic tech scene. So, what are the funding channels that going to be unlocked with the lifting of sanctions? There is first the foreign investors and VCs. When we have clear legal path to invest in Syria, uh, it, it will increase naturally the number of investors and VCs interested in Syria. Also, there is huge interest from the Gulf states like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and they are already in talks about energy infrastructure and fintech partnerships. So many opportunities are ahead. Also, some local angel investors who can be very important in early stage startups to support them and let them make product validation. An important aspect of rebirth of Syrian economy is going from cash-based to digital first. Up until now, the cash is dominant in Syria, and now there is anticipated reform of banking system to reestablish SWIFT and international uh, finances, which will modernize the financial system. Also, many digital payment solutions are being introduced to the market, which will be a lot of growth within the fintech, peer-to-peer lending, microfinance, remittance services. All of these are still not explored in Syria. So here we talk a little bit about synergies across Middle East and North African region. Uh, there is already connections with incubators and accelerators in United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, which will bring a lot of regional collaboration. Also, there is opportunity for Syria to become an outsourcing hub by providing services of Syrian software engineers, AI researchers who will be supporting the region. And finally, there is government-backed energy and telecom projects. These large projects will also bring strategic partnerships with neighboring countries to rebuild critical infrastructure, which also will rebuild connections. Attracting investors with policy reforms. So here are some ideas that of models that Syria that can is still considering. There are some reforms related to asset freezes, regulatory simplification, tax breaks, simplified company registrations, corporate tax exemptions for a specific period of time for important activities. So these all will be explored by the current Syrian government to help growth of Syrian economy and will open opportunities for many companies. What could slow the boom? Here we talk a little bit about some risks. There is still some structural weaknesses, some social risks, trust problems, and security and infrastructure gaps. These are normal as Syria is getting out of very complicated war period, but again is like it's an equation of rewards and risks. And speaking of rewards, why early movers will win in Syria? First, there is unique opportunity. Here we are talking about untapped market who is opening right now with high growth potential and eager talent pool. Early movers also can shape the narrative, can co-create regulations and best practices from the ground up together with the Syrian ecosystem. Also, early movers can turn challenges into opportunities. What are next steps for stakeholders? Track ongoing sanctions relief development, begin searching for local partners and co-working spaces, and also consider conditional agreements with transitional governments bodies. And here we get to the end of this video. Thank you very much and best of luck for your future expansions.